This is What's Hot on CNBC TV 18. Well, the Indian aviation sector is going through turbulence despite a drastic cut in fares, nearly 50% for full-service airlines, over 40% for low-cost carriers. Demand is still not picking up. On What's Hot tonight, we ask, are these prices sustainable? Joining us to discuss that is Sanjay Aggarwal, CEO of SpiceJet. Sanjay, many thanks for joining us. Let me begin by asking you, at a time when the industry is reeling under huge losses, shouldn't fares be a lot more disciplined in terms of getting into this aggressive price war?
Well, Harsha, the question is what they should be and what they are. So right now, it's a competitive environment and there are competitive pressures. And even though we would like to keep the fares higher, we have to stay in line with what the other carriers are doing. And right now, the fares are low, and I think these are unsustainable fares. So if some of the viewers are looking at buying air tickets, they should, do it sooner than later, because I think in the near future I see the fares going up, and it's kind of.
So you're saying in the near future you actually. Unsustainable in the near future, you actually see prices moving back up. But have you seen any sort of a volume pickup post your decision to slash fares, and has that at all offset the kind of losses that you've been sitting on?
Let me take it in two pieces. First of all, have we seen a pickup in demand? The answer is yes, we have, but not sufficient to offset the revenue loss. So, for example, the fares have come down 40 to 50%. However, the load factors have not gone up, and the current fares, it will take us more than 100% load factors to break even. So when I talk about these fares being unsustainable, it's not just we need to get 5 or 10% more load factors. It's just unrealistic. So the second piece being, should we be more disciplined? Of course, we should be. So we'll see where the market goes. But as I said, my guess is the next few weeks the fares should begin to move up.
Sanjay, how is the market share position panned over the last couple of weeks, and who should be really blamed for this discounted fare situation, or is the entire industry to blame?
I would say we all share the blame, but in the same sense, let's say, we should be given the credit that we at least tried to stimulate the market. We tried to see if we can get the people to fly, and what would it take to get them to fly. So right now, as I said, we have not seen the offsetting gain in the load factor relative to the drop in fares. So I would say we all are responsible for it, but at the same time, someone should give us some credit for at least trying and seeing at what price level we can get the customers to fly. But I'll tell you, the sense I'm getting is the consumer confidence right now is really low. So no matter what you do to the fares, I mean, you look at the retail, you look at different segments of the industry, and unless you are a bankruptcy lawyer or financial restructuring business, I think the outlook is really really weak.
Sanjay, how much of the benefit are you actually witnessing on account of ATF prices coming down? ATF prices, I understand, are now down to about July 2005 level, so that probably has eased your burden substantially, but not enough, clearly.
As I said, at current fare levels, Sharon, we still need more than 100% load factor. So if we reported an almost break-even quarter, the third quarter. And had it not been for the fuel increase, the losses would have been huge. So fuel actually helped us kind of break even. So all the credit in the third quarter for our results pretty much goes to fuel. And for us to, or for the industry to, at least I can speak for SpiceJet, for us to have a shot at making money in the next fiscal year, the fuel has to stay at these levels. And as I said, I hope that the fares in the next few weeks will go up and remain at least at at slightly higher levels.
One final question, Sanjay. Some analysts believe that the industry is really, in a sense, jeopardizing its future. assuming that the markets, let's say, recover in 6-8 months time frame, most airlines in the entire industry would have mounted so huge losses that they will still continue to bleed even after demand picks up. How do you read that?
It will take us time. I should say a while. When I say a while, I would say a couple of years for us to dig out of this hole. I mean, it was pretty much the second quarter, in particular, when the fuel prices went through the roof, almost touching $150 a barrel, when airlines accumulated huge losses. And of course, the third quarter wasn't very pretty either overall on an industry basis. And I can tell you, if things continue the way they are, the fourth quarter won't look very good either. So I think it'll be a while before we are able to dig out of the hole.
All right, Sanjay, many thanks for joining us. So clearly the turbulent times for the aviation sector continue, and if you haven't bought your air ticket just yet, go ahead and buy one, because as Sanjay said, pretty much in about a week's time you could expect prices moving back up again. Still ahead, companies begin to disclose pledged shares of promoters, but is it transparent enough? That question on What's Hot when we return.